So we thought we'd put together a little video just maybe giving a little bit of an update on what our thoughts are. We are pretty much 2 months in. We left on November 17th and we've now learned a whole pile of stuff and we've experienced all kinds of weather. So we thought maybe we could share some of what we like and dislike about RV living.
Okay, I'll start. I guess one thing that I discovered is that the bus is actually a lot easier to maneuver and drive than a lot of people would think. We've been in some pretty tight spots, both on the roadways and through little cities and towns, and also within the RV park itself, and trying to maneuver ourselves and get ourselves into our particular spot. Some RV resorts have spacious sites and some are very, very tight. The buses were performing very well. Can't complain. I think we're quite lucky in that regard that we haven't come into too many issues. So maybe you could comment on some of those things.
One of the things that I have learned is that we kind of promote this as a very carefree lifestyle and you get to go and do what you want when you want. And I have learned that it's actually the opposite is true. It takes a tremendous amount of planning and strategically looking ahead to see where our next resort is going to be, to see if we can get in, to look at the highways that we have to take to get there, to check the weather, to make sure we're not driving in horrendous weather. So it really takes a lot of planning to be able to go from one resort to another.
Just further commenting on the bus, some of the things I guess that we've discovered within the build. When we built the bus, we wanted to keep all of the original windows. Now they're thermal windows, so that's great, and every other window does swing open, so that's great. Plus we have the two roof vents. But one thing we've learned is that probably keeping all the windows is got some pros and cons. One of the negatives being that you're basically getting an awful lot of solar gain through the windows, kind of like a greenhouse, so we have to be cautious of that. When we leave the cats alone, we have to make sure that we've got proper ventilation and everything for them and monitor the temperatures. So for heating and cooling, I guess one thing that maybe I would do differently or we might modify would be to block out a few more windows. We'd have to do it in a way that doesn't take away from the appearance, but we can maybe do it and get some added functionality, similar to when we modified the fridge and stuff. So that's one of the things that I think we did uncover. Go on.
One of the things that I really do love about this is that the bus is our home. It is our comfort place. It is our downtime space. It's our home. And I know a lot of you have already seen pictures of the view that we have in our condo in Brockville. And it's the river. That's what we have. That's what we see. We live there. We see it every day. And even though the seasons may change, the view is the same. Here, our bus is the same. Our home is the same. But our view changes constantly. And that I will never be able to get used to. It's just so wonderful to see a different view every time we move. So that's one of the big pros. I think another big pro is that we've always gone on vacation. We only have 2 weeks. We only have a week, whatever time we have. We race there, we race home, and we try to enjoy our time away while we're there. We come back as exhausted as when we left. And now we're able to take our time, and if we don't leave today and we decide to leave tomorrow because it's raining, or we decide to stay an extra week because we love the view, we have that option to do that. So I find that is really a nice thing as well. One of the things when we left home, we left in winter. It was cold, it was snowing, it was freezing rain, and it did everything on that drive from the border to Pennsylvania where we stopped for the first night. And at that point, being very new on the road, we were in survival mode. We just got to get out of the snow. We got to keep driving till we're out of the snow. And once we got to Florida, we went into vacation mode. That's not so good either, because that's where you're spending a lot of money. You're in restaurants, you're having too many margaritas. So now that we've gone through all those different steps, we're more into having a regular lifestyle like we did at home. So we get up in the morning, we shower, we have our morning coffee, we go for our walk, we do what needs to be done, chores, clean up, things like that. Go out, pick up our groceries. It's just regular living now, and I really am enjoying the real living on a bus.
A couple more comments about bus design. One of the things that I like the shower style that we put in, and the tap system. That external faucet system, kind of like cruise ships, was a great idea. Works wonderfully well. When Ryan was with us, all three of us had showers. We didn't run out of hot water, and it's just a great system. I would recommend it. I like it a lot. The other thing that we like is on our IKEA cabinets, the drawers that are within the cabinet behind the door. We really like those, and we're probably going to add a few more where currently there might be a couple of shelves. Much easier to get things in and out of when they're on a drawer. So that we like. Your turn.
We'll talk about the cats a little bit. We're traveling with 3 cats, and they've adapted. They have adjusted. They still don't like the sound of the bus starting up. It rumbles, it causes vibration on their little feet. It makes them go into scared mode, and they just scatter, run, and hide. And but they're complaining a little bit less when we're out on the road, and once they know we stop, they know they're free to join us again, and they're okay. They've adjusted. They live on the bus like they did at home. They pretty much rule the roost.
Another thing regarding the bus and build, when we were leaving Canada, I thought, well, we can get a lot of stuff in the U.S. Should be cheaper, get it down there, save some money. The opposite turned out to be the case. What we found out for different components that we would want is that the actual price is comparable dollar-wise, but the exchange rate really is killing us in the sense that it's about 1.38 at the moment. Hopefully it won't always be the case. It'd be nice if we could get closer to par. Wi-Fi wise, we're finding some parks have great Wi-Fi. You see this on other people's YouTubes and reviews. Some parks have not so great Wi-Fi. Some restrict you from streaming, so that if you go to Netflix, you can't connect to your Netflix. And others don't do that. So it's kind of dependent on the park. We have a really good system with Bell that we got before we left. It gives us basically roam like home features without the roam like home cost. It's a fixed price we're paying, so that all of US and Canada we can call, text, and or stream for whatever gigabit limits we have within our plans. So that's great. What wasn't so great was our Bell 5 TV. Even though there's an app that allows it to work from your phone, doesn't work as soon as you cross the border. So there's a few things that can only work in Canada. That was would have been better if we'd been able to have them working here, but we've gotten by without them. We do have access to Netflix and Prime and Bartflix and everything else while traveling, so that's all good.
So yeah, I do find watching TV is very comparable to living at home. It's one of the first things we do. We walk in the bus, we turn on the TV. At night, we're looking for movies to watch or whatever's on TV. I mean, it's very comparable to home. One of the things I would like to get maybe is one of those propane fire pits that they have. A lot of these southern RV parks don't have fireplaces, and I guess with maybe the wind, like we have a very windy day today, and the aridness, it's just not safe. But that might be an option. It would give us more flexibility maybe to sit outside if we wanted to. For the most part, we don't spend a lot of time outside at night. You know, one of the things that I think I need to explain too is that we are not campers. We may be in an RV park, but deep in our hearts, we are not campers. We are tourists, and we are using the RV to be able to tour around in our own home without hotels and packing, unpacking, and it allows us to bring our cats with us. So first and foremost, we're tourists who happen to be living in an RV park.
The cats are very comfortable with living in the bus. They might not like the travel part, but they're very comfortable when we have parked of laying around and enjoying the views out the window, and very comfortable. They don't seem to be nervous at all. They're always out and about checking things out. So that's all good.
I think too, you know, from leaving home November 17th, we have pretty much, and now I call it camping, we have pretty much lived in every imaginable weather. We never in a million years would have thought that we would be living in a bus in minus 14-degree weather in Atlanta, Georgia. We had to worry about frozen pipes. We had to worry about, well, the resort had to worry about all that as well. In fact, a lot of the things were closed because of the deep freeze. So it gave us that experience. We survived it. The bus survived it. We didn't come out with any damage because of it. So we know that if we're stuck in that predicament again, we'll be fine. It wouldn't be our first choice, but we could do it again if we had to. Today, it's a very windy day, and we actually have a tornado warning in effect. But I don't know. I guess we wait and see what they say. I don't think we're going to have to move, but I guess we wait and see. Tomorrow's going to be another very windy day, and we'll deal with it. Anything else?
I guess the other thing that we want to add that we're probably not going to do while we're down here is at least one mini split, which would be for air conditioning and heat pump. We do have a kind of a temporary air conditioning solution at present that we can use, but it requires the window to be ajar or a little bit open. So once we get around to putting the mini split in, will be a big advantage, I think, from a climate control perspective. We also have a little mini, not a mini, but a small dehumidifier that's been working wonderfully. It works great. It'll pull the moisture right down to the air and get the relative humidity around 50%, which on the bus is good. We do check the external and internal temperatures for to see if we have any issues with dew point, but so far everything's been great. The bus is well insulated and the windows are thermal, so we do have a lot of that. I guess one thing, as I mentioned before, though, I probably would like to have more insulation, and we'll see how we accommodate that going forward.
So overall, do we like it? Yes, we like it. We like it a lot. When I think that we've already been on the road for 2 months, it's hard to believe that in less than 2 months we'll be home again. And then what? It's one of those things. You get home from one vacation and you've got to plan your next one. Taking your home with you is a real big bonus. It's a great opportunity for people who want to try this type of life. The age group of people that we're meeting, there's families here that have been on the road for 4 years, 4+ years. They've got children, they're homeschooled, and they're just traveling. That's what they do. A lot of people that are doing this are our age, they're retired, and they're also just traveling. So it's kind of nice to meet people here and there. We're not overly social, Drew and I. We never have been. So we don't spend a lot of time looking for people to talk to, but when we happen to run into people and we talk to them, it's very interesting to hear their story. So I guess that's about it. Do you like it? How do you, like, is this what you want to do again?
Yeah, I think I like it. I look forward to being able to travel in Canada too, to see some of the provinces with the bus. That should be fun. I guess, again, it's probably a little more costly than we had expected. Part of that is the exchange rate. It's also partially because, at least I favor the higher end parks. I like my amenities and the resorts and the the safety that comes with them. Sue's anxious to try Harvest Host, which I'm kind of looking forward to too, if we can find the right venue, be a vineyard or something like that. But we haven't tried any of those yet, so going forward we may be trying a few of those. But yeah, it's great, and it probably is. I would say, if anything, it might be better than what I would have expected as far as the drivability, the reservations. We've never had any trouble getting in and into parks, even though they're very full. They've always had enough of an opening to get in for at least a few days, if not a couple of weeks. If you want to stay for a whole month, which is a much cheaper approach, that we haven't been able to get yet down here in the south. They're all booked up. The seasonal sites are all booked up, but by week we have been able to do that. So looking forward to the rest of our trip, and I guess that's it from my end.
Yeah, just to recap where we've been since leaving home. We left Ontario, Canada. We went to Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. We went to, I don't know where, I think Richmond. We're somewhere in Virginia, close to Richmond. We were in Raleigh, North Carolina. We were in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, as well as Charleston. From there we went to Savannah, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Montgomery, Alabama, Foley, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana, Biloxi, Mississippi, and now we're in Pensacola, Florida. And we don't know yet where we're going when we leave here.
We like it here.
But we do really like it here.
It's really nice here.
We're staying a total of 3 weeks. So we're not sure where we're going after this, but now is the time to start looking for that. So that'll be our project for the next couple of days. That's it.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. I don't know how to turn this off. There we go.